Yo, it's Smooth Milo here. Man, it has been a while, but we can talk about that later. For now, let's just jump right into the topic of this video. Is Glynda the final maiden? Quick shout out to the person who suggested I do this video. Sorry it took so long, but this one's for you. To start off with, the first thing that ever gave me the idea that Glynda might be a maiden is a scene from the very first episode of RWBY, the fight against Cinder. Now in this fight, Glynda makes heavy use of her semblance in accordance with her fighting style, but then pulls out this move, this hailstorm attack, and looking back on it, having seen magic in action, it's kinda hard not to draw a comparison. Now I did look this up, and apparently, can't exactly find where this was said, but apparently this was achieved through the use of dust. But I've gotta say, I've never seen ice dust form dark clouds like this. If this has happened somewhere before, please let me know. Plus, I can't really see where Glynda is keeping that dust. But of course, this alone isn't what really got me on board with this theory. The main thing that got me latched onto this theory was that making Glynda the fourth maiden totally seems like something good old Ozpin would do. Why? Well, let me explain. It all has to do with the relics. I'd like to draw your attention to the first relic that should have shown up in the series, but didn't. The relic at Beacon. We find out that Ozpin made this relic particularly difficult to obtain. In fact, Salem had to resort to trying to ask the relic of knowledge, Jinn, how to get inside the Beacon Vault. Why is this important? Well, keep in mind that not only did this relic have a magical seal and an entire Huntsman Academy to protect it, but Ozpin himself was personally watching over this relic, and yet still decided, nah, not safe enough, I should add an extra security measure. Why? Here's why. Whichever relic is in that vault, Ozpin cannot let Salem get her hands on it, even more than the others. Think about it. The relic of creation is probably the weakest relic since it can only create one thing at a time, and you need a working blueprint to present to Ambrosius in order for him to work his magic. I'm just saying, if you can already draw up a working design, do you really need the relic? It's probably not such a big deal if Salem gets this relic. As for Jinn, the relic of knowledge, she actually seems like a very powerful and dangerous relic in Salem's hands. But this relic has a password that only Ozpin knows, so again, not such a big deal if Salem gets her hands on it, or rather it wasn't in the past. That leaves the relic of choice and the relic of destruction. Now, I think it might be the relic of choice housed at Beacon. As for why it needed so much security, well, if we go according to the Grimm fairy tales, it can basically tell its user of the future, informing them of a choice they'll have to make, and in this, show knowledge as power. I personally thought the relic could let the user take away others' ability to choose, robbing them of their free will, or even grant the ability to choose to creatures that previously didn't have free will, as these powers would better reflect the gift given to humanity by the two brothers. And that's what the relics are supposed to do, embody the gifts humanity has. Now, just imagine Grimm that can think enough to make decisions. We already got a taste of how much bad news that is with the Hound. Now, regardless of if it's my version of the relic of choice or the Grimm fairy tales one, I think that's enough reason to warrant the extra safety measures. Smooth, you've been going on and on about the relics. Isn't this video about Glynda? Yes, I know, I just need you to stick with me on this one. Now, for the final relic, the relic of destruction. If it works like the relic of creation, in other words, it can destroy any one thing at a time, we have a serious problem if Salem were to get it. Would she not be able to simply destroy the doors to any other vault? Like the doors to the vault at Beacon Ozpin has been trying so hard to protect. I think this relic would also need some extra protection. That's where Glynda comes in. Ozpin decided that the relic at Vacuo, whether it's the relic of choice or destruction, was too dangerous, so he decided to keep the key to that relic right under his nose, and as far away from the Vacuo vault as possible. As a teacher at Beacon Academy. The reason she didn't travel with Ozpin all this time was to protect her identity as Maiden. I mean, if she got into fight after fight alongside Ozpin with all those life or death scenarios, she might have let her secret slip. Also, remember the academies don't control what their respective maidens do. Heck, Minstrel didn't even know who their maiden was, so it's possible a maiden is in a completely different region to her vault. Well, if she is the maiden, she also kinda would have been exposing herself to Cinder, but keep in mind she didn't know Cinder was there until after she used the hail attack, and most people wouldn't have been able to recognize a maiden attack, so perhaps that's why she used it here. Or perhaps she's just a bit reckless and that's why she's not traveling with Ospen. I would love to talk more about Glynda since this video is supposed to be about her, but we don't have a lot of information to work with, so there's not much to say. I mean, I've always thought that she was unusually powerful, but that's about it. What? Why are you looking at me all disappointed like that? You wanted more Glynda info? Fine, hang tight for a sec. Aha! Here we go. So, we all know Glynda is a character from The Wizard of Oz. If you didn't know that, well, now you do. Now, in The Wizard of Oz, Glynda Goodwitch was the witch of... Not the right Glynda Goodwitch? Well, you should have been more specific. Where was I? Ah, yes. Glynda was the witch of the South, which is one of the 4 cardinal directions. 4 directions? 4 maidens? Does this information convince you of this theory? No? Me neither. But let's pretend. Come on, it'll be fun. And with that, we now all agree that Glynda is the last maiden. No need to praise me on such a great theory. All I did was connect the dots. No, come on now. The round of applause is far too kind. You're too kind. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's enough pretending. There is one other theory that could work. Glynda is the 5th maiden. Hear me out. So Ospen says he made the relic at Beacon harder to obtain. What if the extra security measure Ospen put in place at Beacon was requiring an extra maiden to open the vault? Here's how it works. Ospen, wanting to protect the vault, gives a tiny bit of magic to another individual he trusts, kinda like how he gave Crow and Raven the ability to transform into birds. However, in this case, the magic simply boosts the semblance of this individual to a ludicrous degree, and this bit of magic makes her the 2nd key to the vault door. Perhaps this was done in a rush as a response to the 4 maiden being attacked. Glynda having magic would also explain why her and Cinder's attacks looked very similar when they fought. Perhaps the writers just didn't know where they were going with this at that time. Who knows? Hi, vey. It truly has been a while. Let's just say shiz hit the fan, in case you were wondering. Had some plans, they fell through, that's a bummer, but whatever, life goes on. And plus, if I'm being honest, there was a bit of a procrastination on my end. But I really did want to get this video out, especially because someone asked for it, so I was like, it was always nagging in the back of my mind, and decided to finally do it, you know, and just get it done. Happy that it did. I forgot how much I enjoyed this. If you have any other suggestions for videos, please let me know. I'll love to look into it, hopefully, and I'll try not to take like an entire year to do it this time. I wonder if that guy's gonna see this video. I hope he does. Anyway, keep it smooth.